Chapter 1 of Operation Outer Space by Leinster. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, visit LibriVox.org. Operation Outer Space by Leinster. Chapter 1. Jed Cochrane tried to be cynical as the helicab hummed softly through the night over the city. The cab flew at 2,000 feet, where lighted buildings seemed to soar toward it from the canyons which were streets. There were lights and people everywhere, and Cochrane sardonically reminded himself that he was no better than anybody else, only he'd been trying to keep from realizing it. He looked down at the trees and shrubbery on the rooftops, and at a dance that was going on atop one of the tallest buildings. All roofs were recreation spaces nowadays. They were the only spaces available. When you looked down at a city like this, you had cynical thoughts. 14 million people in this city, 10 million in that, 8 in another, and 10 in another still, and 12 million in yet another. Big cities, swarming millions of people, all desperately anxious, so Cochrane realized bitterly, all desperately anxious about their jobs and keeping them. "Even as me and I," said Cochrane harshly to himself. "Sure, I'm shaking in my shoes right along with the rest of them." But it hurt to realize that he'd been kidding himself. He'd thought he was important. Important, at least, to the advertising firm of Kirsten, Caston, Hopkins and Fallow. But right now he was on the way, like a common legman, to take the moon rocket to Lunar City, and he'd been informed of it just 30 minutes ago. Then he'd been told casually to get to the rocket port right away. His secretary and 2 technical men and a writer were taking the same rocket. He'd get his instructions from Dr. William Holden on the way. A part of his mind said indignantly, "Wait till I get Hopkins on the phone. It was a mix-up. He wouldn't send me off anywhere with the Dick-a-Patty hour depending on me. He's not that crazy." But he was on his way to the spaceport regardless. He'd raged when the message reached him. He'd insisted that he had to talk to Hopkins in person before he obeyed any such instructions, but he was on his way to the spaceport. He was riding in a helicab, and he was making adjustments in his own mind to the humiliation he unconsciously foresaw. There were really 3 levels.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?